Hello, hello, hello everyone. Welcome to the final Learn to Build stream of the year. How far we have come with what we can build in Sansar. I'm your host, Elliot Miller, also known as Zebulon, also known as your humble community manager. And we're going to show some really cool stuff today, thanks to this week's release, thanks to Project PewPew. But before I get into all that, I really want to show off something amazing Old Vamp had made and remind you guys of Sokoban Community Challenge. What's Sokoban? Sokoban is a genre of Japanese puzzle games. It takes the name from the NES or SNES title from the early 90s? Late 90s? I should be more prepared. I should have material, guys. It's fine. But basically it means warehouse keeper. And it's this style of push-block puzzle games that you have probably seen throughout your life if you've ever played a Legend of Zelda game. And this experience Old Vamp has made lets us build in real time. And what you can do is you can build a Sokoban level. So this experience is called... Guess what? It is called... It should show up here now that I'm in here. It's called Sokoban Maker. And it's by Old Vamp. So what you can do is you can come in here in desktop mode. It doesn't work in VR, but you can come in here in desktop mode, build a Sokoban level, and then play it immediately. So I'm walking around, I'm pressing the one key to place walls. I can type /help in chat if I didn't see the instructions before. So 1 is a wall, 4 is an entrance. We're going to have an entrance, otherwise we can't get into the room. And I'm going to fill in this whole gray area. So as per our Sokoban challenge, we set the minimum and maximum size of a puzzle. And that's what this grid here represents. So the grey area is the smallest you can make it. The white grid is as big as you can make it. So I'm going to put in some walls. And then we're going to put in some crates. So crates are, we just press the 2 key. There we go. That wasn't quite where I wanted it, but that's fine. And then we'll put a goal here. And we'll put a goal here. And then we'll do some walls like this. Oops. So if I press the wrong thing, I press R to clear it. And then I press 1 to put the wall. Cool. And then what I can do is I can type export, and I get the text representation of this level. So this is all you really need to make a Sokoban level. If you come into Sokoban Maker right now, and you just play around and you build a level, and then hit export, you could just send us this text. Just copy and paste it, send it to me in a Discord DM, send it to us on Twitter or on Facebook, just post it on Twitter or Facebook and add us, whatever, however you want to get it to us. And then we can put this into the Sokoban Ultimate experience we want to build. That's going to be as many community-made levels as we can have. So I'm going to copy and paste this right now, because Old Vamp made something really cool. If I go play, and, whoops, no, copy, not the switch handle, take the, there we go, the text. I press enter, it builds the level. Right around me. Isn't that cool? So now I just walk into the block, makes a little sound, makes a little ding. Now, obviously, I can only push it forward and backward and left and right, so I can't go down this gap because I won't be able to go to the left. So I'm gonna have to go this way, and then I'm just gonna keep moving it. And you can play this in VR. So you can't make the level in VR, but you can totally come and play it in VR as well. Play it with your friends. And we get a little pew sound, a little laser sound when we complete it. And there we go, level complete. Isn't that neat? I just got to build a puzzle level and play it in like 5 minutes without having to leave being in my avatar mode. Never had to go into build mode, never had to build anything, never had to know anything I was doing, just this interactive building experience that Old Vamp has made. Hats off to you, sir. This is so cool. I freaking love this. It's the coolest. So, happy to have that here in Sansar. And let me find our Sokoban challenge to remind you. I'm scrolling down our website now. Cha-cha-cha. Cool. Bringing you guys over with the hotkey. So here we go. Here's the Sokoban puzzle challenge we started. Here's an example from the classic game. And Leslie made a Sokoban experience that you can check out here in Sansar. and it has about 5 levels, and it really is just a script that spawns the objects, and the script is just like this kind of text. So if you want to build your own levels, you can just do so with Oldvamp's Sokoban level maker, and then send them to us. Leave them as a comment here, tweet at us, Facebook, email, carrier pigeon, however you want to get it to us, and make your own level, and then we're going to put them all together in the Sokoban Ultimate. That's going to be a super cool experience. So that is what we are up to there. So I really want to shut it off before we get into the meat of our stream today. Elliot, what's the meat of our stream today? Why, it's Operation PewPew. Let's hop over now to this cool experience. PewPew. So in a second, I'm going to switch over into VR because we have a VR shooting gallery. And you can play this in desktop mode, but your avatar will like hold the gun by his side and it'll like work, but you'll like look like you're just constantly shooting your foot. So give me a second, guys, and I'm going to switch over our inputs to be VR. So we're going to start with our desktop input. I'm going to switch that over to the Rift Audio. If anyone knows if there's like a hotkey button where you can set preset inputs on OBS and just go, okay, I'm switching over now. That'd be great. I'd love to hear about that. Here we go. Gotta click into Sansar. And now of OBS. Cool. You guys should still be able to hear me. I really hope that is the case. And as you can see, I got my beautiful cyberpunk hands here. Whoops. Oh, I'm getting... we added new tutorial experiences guides. They're going to affect all users. Might have to do some tutorial prompts. But as of... yeah, I know... Well, I can't teleport in this space. I turned off teleporting because that was a new thing we have. Cool, so I can pick up this gun, and I can pick up this gun, and what's cool is they're sticky, so I don't have to hold on to them the whole time. I can just... That was a loud truck. I don't have to hold on to them the whole time, I just pick them up and they stay in my hands. And I can press it again to drop. Yeah, okay. It's tutorial. So now, we can shoot the targets, or at least try to. So you can see I'm using the Vive trigger. And we've got Muzzle Flash. Yeah, I know the controls, please stop asking. And then I'm pressing the Oculus AX buttons to reload. Come on. There we go. I'm really bad at this, apparently. Am I just not seeing it? Guys, am I just really bad at this, or am I just not noticing it? Alright, reload them both. You get the idea. You get the idea. We can now do shooting galleries. So we added raycasting a while ago, but now that we've got the sticky grab, now that we've got some simple scripts, this whole kind of experience is a lot easier in Sansar. Pretty cool, right? Okay. Let's switch everything back over. Okay, switching back over to this microphone that I'm talking into. Switching the audio back over to my headset. And gonna undo my messy hair. There we go. VR. It's difficult to look professional while doing it. Was everything alright? Everyone could still hear me while I did the switchover? Always paranoid that I'm missing out. But that's the kind of stuff we can do. So how do we make it? Well, here's one I built earlier. We're going to go to Build Experiences, and we're going to go to Fire the Cannon. Who remembers Fire the Cannon? Anyone remember when I made this experience a couple of months ago? Basically, the lamer version of what of what was able to be done in Scary Waters. Actually, yeah, let's visit this experience first. Canon. There we go. I spelled canon correctly 2 times. Isn't that good? Let's visit this experience, and I'll show you what it does. So if you remember from a previous stream, I made this cannon. And what the cannon does is kind of the different way of doing a shooting gallery. So we have a cannon. It's going to use a simple dispenser script to spawn a ball, and that ball is going to collide with an invisible trigger volume that will play the animation of this bottle exploding. There you go. So it went up there and it smashed that bottle. And then we made these buttons to move it forward and backward and turn it. You can see it shoots the bottle, and as the object passes through the trigger volume, the bottle plays the animation of being smashed. So this is the kind of the physical way of doing it, where we have objects that are colliding with trigger volumes. The way these guns work is they use raycasting, which is kind of like an invisible laser that says, okay, between these points, did I hit something? Or something like that. But it's basically not using an actual object colliding with something. It's using an understanding of what that looks like, which is actually like how a lot of video games work. You're not actually shooting bullets, you're shooting an animation, and it's all just smoke and mirrors to make it look like your objects, the bullets are physical objects, because actually spawning a bunch of objects is really going to slow down your game. So that's physics-based over here, and this is the raycasting version over here. So if I pull left-click, you'll hear me make laser sounds. And then you'll hear the clip get empty. If I press R to reload, you'll hear a laser recharge sound. Now you also see there's a light coming out. That's because I haven't entirely figured out how to do the muzzle flashes that the Zayas has. Alex, our dev who made the PewPew space, those guns had nice little light muzzle flashes. I haven't figured that bit out yet today, so that's going to be the second half of the stream, is me trying to figure that out. And if I shoot this target, it plays a sound, and then it plays an animation of the target smashing. And it didn't explode the other target. There we go. Seems like there's a pretty long delay, like it waits for the sound to finish before it starts the next sound. It's a very slow-moving laser bolt, but it works. And this took me, like 40 minutes to make using simple scripts we already have. So let's have a look at it, and then let's build one from scratch. Okay. So here we are in edit mode, and I'm going to delete this object because that was something I was playing with, and we don't need that anymore. Cool, and we're going to select the gun, and we're going to look at all the things it's made of. So, also, let's talk about pricing. Let's talk about how much does this cost me to make? Because all these objects are free, except one thing. So I'm going to show you the one thing I bought on the Sansar store. The rest of it is all free. Cool. So we're going to switch over. Haha. This is the only thing I bought. So it costs 99 Sansar dollars, which is a little less than $1 US, and it's an exploding target. It has a animation of it exploding when you tell it to play the animation. And the rest of it is all stuff I got from the store for free. So the gun is from the Syncade collection. Here we go. Arcade collection. There's a blue one and a red one. The sounds I got from freesound.org, which is like a community site for uploading and sharing sounds for video games and filmmakers. So that's where I got the sound effects. And then the scripts are provided in your inventory by default. So you've got everything you need. You've got everything you need. And if you don't want to pay 100 Sansar dollars for the exploding target, then you can just make any static object and make it light up when it gets hit, which I'll show you how to do as well. Cool. So let's take a look at this gun. What is it made of? So we have the object red gun. I feel like I'm experiencing a bug where there's constant footstep sounds. Or am I just going crazy? Am I being haunted? Okay. Let's look at this gun. Red gun. And then it's got a whole bunch of scripts in it. And it's got some grab points and a light. So the light we're having some trouble with, but we'll come back to that. Let's take a look at the firing array. So I renamed this because they were just like script 1, script 2, script 3, and I wasn't sure what I was clicking on anymore, so I renamed all of these. So the firing array is the simple scripts library game gun. And like I said, that's in your inventory. It's in everyone's inventory for free. So if we go all sources, you can see the simple scripts library is right here. So you just drag and drop it onto any object, including this table. And then when you look at the simple scripts library, they're all here. And we're going to be using game gun and game target today. But you have interaction, broadcaster, chat, collisions, mover, media, light, sound, teleport. All these scripts are in this one bundled library we can use. So this is game gun in our firing array. And then we've got some commands coming out of it. And the shot command is pew. If it hits something, it's pew bang. If it misses, it's pew miss. If we're out of ammo, then the command is no pew pew. And when we reload, the command is pew back. So, as I explained previously, the way these commands work is it does something, and then it sends out that word on like all frequencies, like some kind of radio broadcast, right? So the gun, you click the firing button, and then the gun yells, pew! And most things don't care, except for the scripts that are listening for the word pew, and they go, someone said pew, I must do my thing now. And that's how these commands work, pretty much. We can run through some of this. Now, one of the things we also added in the last release is these very helpful little tooltips that you can mouse over, and it'll tell you a little bit more about what this script event means. So this is whenever the trigger is pulled and there is ammo. So if the gun has ammo and you pulled the trigger, which is like left mouse in desktop or one of the triggers on Oculus controllers or on Vive, then it sends the word pew. Cool. And then we even have things like the reload time. How long does it take to reload? You could even tie that to an animation if you wanted. So it's actually like the gun reloads or something, powers up. We have the scorekeeping and then player points. We can even set the clip size. So we can say if you want 100 bullets or no bullets, or everyone's got a single shot, make it golden gun mode, like good old golden eye. Feels weird saying golden gun and golden eye in the same thing. Whoops, deselected that. We're looking at a firing array. Cool. So then we also have the points. If VR is enabled, if mouse look is enabled, and free click, and you can even have it attached to free cam if you want, so you can still do it while free camming. And then we also have groups. And groups was something that was slightly explained to me yesterday, and that tooltip's longer than I thought it was going to be. But basically I think it means we can say, one group of targets listen to one gun and one group of targets listen to another gun, so that if we have multiple players at the same time, we can't shoot each other's targets. Right? We're basically saying you're in set A and you're in set B. You're team A, you're team B. I believe there's more to it than that, but that's my understanding of it so far. If anyone watching wants to correct me, let me know. Cool. All right, so that's the main thing. That's simple scripts library game gun. Let's look at the target. So the target has a bunch of meshes and animations. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about the simple scripts library down here. Cool. So here we have game target, and this is pretty simple. When the target is hit, it sends out this command. And you'll notice this is different from the commands on the gun. So I got confused, and I made pew hit the command on here, so anytime you hit any target, they all explode at the same time. And I was like, no, you actually, it understands enough that it's been shot from game gun, so you want to listen to, you want it to broadcast this message after it's been hit, not before. And we can also send its point value, which is pretty cool. So you get 10 for every target you hit. So why is it important to have a message that goes out when the target has been hit? Well, that's how we tell it to play the animation. So when the word hit 1 has gone out because target 1 has been hit, it begins to play the animation range of 1 to 100, which is how you see it explode. And also, at the same time, it does simple script sound, and it plays the trivia game show buzzer sound number 8 that I have. And so when it hears hit 1, it plays the sound. So that's how, when you shoot it, it makes a little ding sound, and the target explodes. And those are both really important things to have feedback that you hit the target. You know, remember last week we were talking about some basic game design tips and how sounds and lights are your friends. That's how you're going to communicate that a gun fired or a target got hit. It's things lighting up and making sounds. That's really kind of core to the whole visual medium. Cool. And then what's also important that it only plays the sound once, and that in the base properties for the object, all the way down here, where is it? That the playback of the animation only plays once and it doesn't begin on load. So if you have it begin on load, it will just play as soon as you open it up, and if you have it on looping, it will just constantly be an exploding target. So make it single play, make it begin on load, and make the sounds not looping, and then it will only happen when it hears hit 1 when the target's been hit. I didn't get that right the first time. Cool, and then just to go over this target, so again, there's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm looking in the object structure window, but again, we're using the simple scripts library game target, and this is hit 2. So if you hit this target, it doesn't do anything to this target. So the same sound and the same animation are controlled by hit 2 on this target, so that you can shoot them independently. Cool. Let's go back to the gun. Because like I said, sounds and lights are important. I haven't figured out lights, but I do know a thing or two about sounds. So we have our fire sound. This is this laser sound I got from the Poguli on Freesound. And so when it hears the pew command, so when someone's trying to fire it and there is ammo, it goes pew, and so it makes a pew pew sound. Then we also have the clip empty sound, so when there's the no pew pew, when we're out of ammo, that command sends out and it hears this empty clip sound, and it plays that. And then finally the reload sound is this laser recharge sound I also got from Dioli, I'm not sure. Reading usernames is fun. So it plays this laser recharge sound I also got from Freesound, and that's when we have the reload command has been pressed, which tells the gun, the simple gun script to reload, but that command is also telling us to play this sound. So quite a few things to it. Another core part to it are the grab points. So what are grab points? Say I take this table, I right click in an object structure, and I go add, and I get myself grab points. And then I can select them and move them up. So what grab points say is that when an avatar in desktop mode or VR tries to grab something, they'll grab it by the grab point instead of just sticking their hand in the middle of the physics volume and grabbing it. So this is great for guns and swords, so that you actually hold them by the handle instead of anywhere else. So as you can see, I've got 2 grab points here, and I can select the left and the right hand if I want, and I can move them up and down so that it tells you if you're grabbing it with the left hand, you know, it's left-handed, right-handed, you're grabbing it on the right side. And if this was like a, you know, had like a magazine I could hold on to, maybe I'd put one of the hands further forward and it holds it in a different place. So I can move both hands independently. And then both of these grab points have the stay in hand. So that's what I showed you before in PewPew, is when I picked it up, I didn't have to hold it down the whole time to be holding onto the gun. So if I want to stay in my hand, I just go to each hand and I toggle them on, and then in either hand I'll be like, okay, I'm holding onto it, I don't have to keep holding down the trigger. This is really important if you want it to work in desktop mode, because obviously in desktop mode, if you like click on something, That's the fire button, but it's also the drop button. So you throw the gun and shoot it. So in order to make it stay in work in desktop hand, you need to have the stay in hand on. With VR, it's kind of a choice about whether you want someone to be holding down the middle trigger the whole time, like they're actually holding onto the gun, or if you just want it to have it a bit of a looser feel. So, cool. Many pieces to it. But that is, that's how it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new experience. We're going to build it from scratch. Any questions? Twitch chat, Discord, anyone? I'm going to move on. Oh, I was going to... This table really doesn't need grab points. That's kind of weird. Cool. Oh, one more thing. If I go to visibility and physics shapes, you'll see there's a large sphere in the target. So these targets do not come with a physics volume. If I drag and drop it out. So you see now that I'm looking in physics mode, I can see this is a solid surface. I can see that the gun has a physics shape. I can see the table, but the target does not. So if you try to walk through it, you just walk through it, which is not what we want, and also means it won't work with the raycasting of the gun. So it needs to have a physical volume if game gun is going to work. So how do I add a physical volume? I've got the target here selected. I right click on it. I go add, and I go volume. And now it adds a physical volume. So if you hit anywhere in the physical volume, it will play the animation, play the scripts. Well, that's how these work. This target also has none of the scripts on it. But so now this is a viable target for us to hit, and it also means we can't walk through it. But you'll see it has a different shape. So if it doesn't come with a physics volume, that can be tricky when you add one, because adding physics volumes, we're either doing boxes or spheres. So I can do a sphere, or I can do a box. And this is kind of a trade-off, right? So the problem with the square version is even if I hit up here in the top left, that still counts as hitting the target, which is quite lenient to completely miss, but count that as a hit. Our alternative is to make it a sphere. And what I've done here is I make it not on the outer edge of the circle, but on the inner side. The trouble is if you shoot at it from the side, you'll still hit it. So you can hit it all the way over here, and that will also count as a hit. So these are the problems of objects that don't have custom physics shapes to them. This is a problem of adding physics shapes to it. So something to be aware of if you really want control over where you can hit on the target or not, you're probably going to have to make your own object. But if you're not too worried about it, it's no biggie. You know, we can make this box smaller. Make it 3 by 0.3 by 3, and now, you know, it's a much smaller area of the target. Actually, it's better than this physics one, the sphere shape, I think. We can do also the same with the sphere, is we can make it, you know, bigger, or we can make it smaller. So, something to consider there. I think I do actually like the box better. But there we go. Things to consider. Let's at least make this sphere back the size it was. And I will do a save. Save what I've been working on here. And we're going to go into new experience and build from scratch. So, I'm going to go create build experiences. I'm going to create a new one. And we're going to call it the Thunderdome. And we're going to choose the base template. So there are lots of other templates you can choose from, like the rooftop template, the toy box template, the Highlands template, lots of good choices. And any scene you've previously built will count as a template you can build from. But when it comes to a bunch of scripts, I really like doing it in base template because there's nothing to load. And then we'll just, you know, we'll make it work and then we'll make everything fancy. Because it builds a lot quicker if there's not a bunch of fancy textures. So, I know I've made the mistake before where it's really easy to get really distracted making everything super pretty, and then it just takes forever to build because you're trying to get scripts to work. Cool. So my usual starter thing, we're going to turn down the fog because we just don't need it, and it's a little, we don't need to turn down the sky distance, but the fog is a little confusing. There is definitely a constant footstep sound, isn't there? I'm going to change the skybox because I don't like this one. It makes it hard to see. Low contrast. Cool. Alright, and then we have our plane of existence here. Where's our spawn point? There it is. Alright. Let's make a gun. Let's make a gun from scratch. First, we're going to need something to put the gun on, otherwise it's just sitting on the floor, and that's going to make things difficult. And you know, I typed table, but I have not gotten enough mileage out of this altar. So, we're going to put in this pretty metal altar. It's a... yeah, that's not too tall. What I'm going to do, we have a reference model on the Sansar store, free to grab. So that's how tall a male avatar is. So yeah, it's kind of at hand height, so maybe it's a little high. So let's make it 0.85. There we go. It's a little bit more at his hand height. A little bit more natural. Cool. Let's get a gun. Oops, not Gim. Who's Gim? I don't know who Gim is. Cool. Okay. Blue gun this time. And let's take a look at some of the things in this object. Number one, is it dynamic? Okay. So here in the properties window, we can be static, dynamic, or keyframed. So this altar is static. It's not going to move. You can't pick it up. It's a solid object. It's bolted to the floor. This is dynamic, means we can pick it up. Not only that, we can throw it. And then keyframed, you only want to worry about if you're making something move. If with a script, if you're doing some kind of animation, or if it's something you want to be able to pick up and then throw in the air and it stays there. Which you've watched my previous videos, you know I've had some fun with. So that's what's going on there. Cool. So dynamic is what we care about, and then we can also make it heavier, you know, if we want it to be a weighty feeling gun. This will only really matter when you throw it. So we'll just put that up to 1,500. And then can grab on, so we can pick it up. Cool. And then audio material, this is what it sounds like when it bounces off things, so we should probably make it metal. Make it not, you know, sound like a gun. And we can even now have custom impact sounds. So you can make a snowball sound like a snowball falling in snow if you want to. But we're not going to worry about the custom impact sounds, but damn, is that cool? We have. Tori's very happy. Cool. All right, we have our gun. I'm going to go to it in scene objects. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go add scripts. And we are going to go to the script and select the simple scripts library. And then that, because we now have the ability to bundle scripts as of our latest release, you can see they're all in here. And we're going to go game gun. Cool. So now we need to give all of these different commands different words. So shot fired is bang. If a player has been hit, we'll call that bang dead. So this is if you, let's read this tooltip. Yeah, so this is if you shoot another avatar. So we can run around and shoot each other. Cool. And then shot hit, event sent when a shot hits anything recognizable target, either a player or an object with game target script on it. Cool, so we do need to put something here. So we'll call this bang hit. And then miss, we'll call bang miss. And one of the reasons we want track misses is because we can give you the game gun, game target script. You may notice in the chat gives you a little record of your hit accuracy and things like that. And then out of ammo is no bang, and then reloaded is reload. And shot command with trigger and reload command with secondary action. We could tie it to other things like a control panel, like a turret. So we could use instead simple interaction commands on buttons. So you actually have to like shoot a turret instead of it being something that's on a trigger. That's an option. And then like the reload time, yeah, I'll look at 0.5. It shouldn't be immediate, you know. That should be a little thing. Hitting another player will just be 50 points. We'll keep score on, and we'll make the clip size 20. You know, we'll make it. It's pretty rapid fire, little laser pistol. VR, mouse look, all these things we'll just leave enabled. And then I'm not entirely sure I'm doing groups, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Awesome. Now the gun needs to make a sound when you fire it. That's pretty key. So before I right click and went add and script from the drop-down menu. But instead I can just go to search script. I can find the simple scripts library in my inventory. And I can just drag this onto the object. And you'll see it appear in the properties window, and it'll automatically jump to simple interaction. So we'll change this to simple sound. And the sound is going to be this laser gun sound I uploaded. And yes, we'll have it spatialized. We can put a little bit of variance on it. Like, so it changes like a little bit. Let's just randomize it a bit. Might be fun. Who knows? And then the command for that is bang. And yeah, the loudness 80 seems pretty good. We don't need to worry about adjust playback. And stop sound we'll put on reset. And we'll come back to reset, which I did explain before, in a little while. And then yeah, don't want it looping, don't want it looping autoplay, and it starts enabled. Cool. Drag and drop. Next sound. Gonna do simple sound, and so now we need a reload sound. So we have our laser recharge, and I should show you how to import a sound. So up here in import, we can import 3D models, scripts, skyboxes, and audio, and accept pretty much any kind of conceivable audio file. And then you go browse, and then you find it if you have audio files, which I don't have on this computer. That's why I deliberately uploaded these before I did the stream. But you just select it and then import it. So that's how I got the laser gun sounds up here. And then what did we make? This is a recharge, so I think we just called that reload. We did just call that reload. Okay, so when you hear the command reload, you will instead make a reload sound. Awesome. And now we just need one more sound, and that's when you're out of ammunition. Because it's important to have that, you know, click, click, click. Oh no, I'm out of bullets. What am I going to do? I have to reload. Which one is it? There we go. It's this one. I'm going to go down to simple sound. And we're going to have this empty gunshot sound I got. And it's going to be on no bang. And we're not going to worry about the variance. I will make it louder though, because it was a pretty loud, pretty quiet sound, sorry. And then we'll also put the stop sound on reset. So we don't need to put a stop sound, because when it hears the command no bang or pew, it will play it once, and it's a very short sound. I'm just putting stop sound on reset in case something breaks, and it's just like doing a looping sound for some reason. And we're going to have a reset button that basically puts everything back to the way it was when you entered the experience. And those buttons are really useful to have. So let's just check. Yeah, I missed reset. Oh, that's not how you spell the word reset. My hand is to the left. There we go. Muscle memory is not always helpful. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about resets. I'm going to drag and drop this on here. And we're going to get another script. I know, so many scripts on one tiny little object. And we are going to have a position reset. So in the simple scripts library, we're looking for position reset. And the reset event will just be the word reset. So what this means is when the command for the reset goes out, and this gun hears it, it will come back to this point right here, where it spawned. So if it falls through the floor, if you lose it, you can press reset and the gun comes back here, which is super important to have. Cool. So we're gonna add a reset button. This is for free on the Sansar Studios store, but it's not two-sided. Do you see this? So I can see it when I'm looking at it this way. If I come around the back here, I can't see it. I know how to fix that. We go right-click the object, we go materials, and see it's transmissive and emissive. Is there two-sided transmissive and emissive? There's not. What we can do is, so we're looking things that say two-sided, and then that's why we can't see it from both sides. Okay, I'm just going to do standard two-sided. Yeah, it's not happy with that because it's including the whole background. That's why it needed to be transmissive and emissive. Standard two-sided detail, same problem. So we're not going to worry about it. I'm going to cancel this. We'll just put it flat. Let's put this 90 degrees, and then we'll spin it around. Make this 0. Cool. So if We can only look at it from one way. Oh man, it's casting a really big shadow as well. Shh. It's really a circle. Cool. And then this is our reset button. So we're going to right click it. Going to go add script, simple scripts library. And we're going to have simple interaction. So this turns it into a button. That's something we can click on. And we'll put it in all caps, reset. And it can do multiple clicks, but we're just going to do one. And it's going to reset the thing. Quite a lot going on, but we're almost ready. We're going to go to the gun. We're going to add one more thing that I forgot about. We're going to add the grab points. So we'll bring these up. Oh, we're moving the whole thing. It's like the grab points, just the grab points and object structure. Bring those up. And then I'm just going to bring the left hand out a bit and the right hand out a little bit. And then stays in hand on, stays in hand on. And we're going to build. Cool. This is 60% of a functioning shooting game already. And it's been about 10 minutes. Aren't simple scripts wonderful, guys? Aren't they the best? I had a reason for calling this Thunderdome. Hopefully we'll get to that. Oh yeah, I always forget the reference model's actually like a real statue who stays here. Cool, so here is our gun. It's kind of falling through the table a little bit. That's because of the shape of its physics volume. I can fix that. So I'm going to click it. Appears in my right hand. And we can look at this and we can say that maybe the grab point should be further back. I'm kind of holding it by the middle, not really holding it by the handle. And then let's crank up the sounds, make sure you guys can hear them. Pew pew! Oh, I gave it 20 shots, didn't I? Alright, let's turn the sounds back down again. There we go, there's that classic game gun I'm out of ammunition sound. I press R to reload. Makes a recharge sound. Terrific. We have a functioning thing, and now if I drop the gun with F, it falls through the floor. Happens sometimes. So we hit the reset button, and it brings the gun back. Boom. Done. Not bad, huh? Now we just gotta do targets and fix a couple of things. So we're gonna go to the gun, we're gonna go to these grab points, and we'll move these further back as our first thing. So there we go. Bit more just on the trigger. Just only slightly on the trigger. And a bit more of the thumbs on the back here of the handle. So a little bit of a tighter fit. Looking good. Looking good. Of course, obviously this is a fist, so this is when the trigger is pulled, when your finger's sticking right out, your finger's going to stick kind of far forward. Cool. Now, why did it go through the table? Let's have a look at its physics shapes. Where's its physics shape? There we go. Oh, wow, it's tiny. It's so tiny, it's inside the object. There we go. There's also not really, if I'm scaling it up, it doesn't really look very center, does it? So, that's a problem. But what we can do is we can, oh, okay, make you a little bit bigger. Oh wait, you're too big. Make you scale 1.5, so I can see you. Cool. Now what we can do is in, just make sure we're getting this right. In object structure, we select the volume, and we can actually move it. And we can make it a bit closer to the gun, but you can see it's not an L shape, it's just a rectangle, so that's why the handle goes through the floor. So I'm going to stop it from being a mesh. This is one that was uploaded, and instead I'm going to make it a box. That box is too big. It's quite a big box. Let's get 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Alright, this is where I start just kind of guessing at numbers. So it's a box. We don't really want it to be a box, we want it to be a flat rectangle. So let's make this 1. Okay, that's thinner. Let's make it 0.05. There we go. That's about the width of our gun. We can drag this forward now. And that's pretty good, actually. That's pretty bang on. That's it's about the height of the gun. It's maybe a little bit tall. We can make this maybe just 0.2. Oops, that's the wrong one. This one we'll make a little longer. And then this one will make 0.2. There we go. So it's a bit more rectangle. I'm going to drag it down, bring it back, because more than anything we want the furthest extent of it to not go through the floor or objects. So the handle's now included. We've got a little bit of the top of the gun missing, so maybe we'll just make this 3.5 and 2.25. So this is a little bit too big now. Maybe 3.25. I'll make this 2.10. This is just a little bit trial and error. So line that up with the bottom of the handle and the front of the gun and the top edge, and there we go. Now it's a full rectangle, so that it won't go through the table anymore through our altar. And we'll just go to visibility and turn physics shade off. There we go. There we go. So that's the gun improved. Let's make a target. Now I showed you before how to do it with the animated target, and I got a Discord DM that those creators are working on a new version that will have a physics volume, so that's great. Let's start from scratch then. Let's take this, do Control D to duplicate it, we'll move it out, and we'll do the classic bottles. Bottles on a wall. Type in bottle. That's not really what I wanted, because I know there's one I got recently. It's called like, there were some fun beers someone uploaded. And this one has like a bullet theme, so that seems appropriate. Here we go, here's our gun lager. Cool. So this doesn't have a physics volume because I don't have options to make it static or dynamic. So we're going to add one. Add a volume. And we're going to turn on physics shape to have a look at it. So adding a volume, it's pretty smart. Look at that. That's about the size of the object. Great. I don't think we need to worry anymore about that. So now let's go. Simple scripts. Find a simple script in the library. And we will make this game target. And I'll make this target hit 1. And we'll make it point value 10. And then we will add another script for our sound. So we'll make this simple sound. And we'll make this our buzzer sound. And when it hears hit 1, play the buzzer sound. And I'll make that pretty loud. Actually, that buzzer sound was a little bit loud in the first place, so maybe we'll turn it down a little bit. Cool. Now, what I say about sounds and lights, they're our friends, so let's also make it light up. Hey, Elliot, you don't really fully understand lights, do you? No, I don't, Elliot. Maybe I shouldn't be doing lights. We're going to turn on a light when it hears hit 1. The light will be green, because that's the color of goals. The intensity will be 80. Cool. And it will turn off at reset. And then we'll right click this and we will add a light to this object. So it's attached to it. You see we've got this big old point light here. And this light will be intensity 0 by default, range 20 by default, and it will be it will just be pure white by default. Cool. So now when we shoot this beer bottle, it should make a sound and light up. It should also appear in chat. Magic Capper asking, where am I? I'm in the experience I'm building. I'm also in the San Francisco office. Multiple realities at once. Alright, let's build this out. So we're looking for how the gun fits in a hand, if it doesn't go through a table, and if our target works. We can run over here. And as you can see, it now stands on its handle. But because it's actually a box shape, it stands perfectly on its handle, which is maybe a little silly. And when we hold it, the hand looks still kind of far forward. So I guess we can be kind of aggressive. And something went wrong here. Something went very wrong here. I don't know why you're that high up in the air. Oh well, I'm going to shoot you. There we go. Made a sound, and it hit the target. It's not setting on the light, though. And then if I drop it, we'll see final score on 90. You hit 9 out of 9. I hit accuracy of 100%. Ain't that cool? And if I pick it up here, shoot it until I run out. You hit 0 out of 10. I hit accuracy of 000%. And then everything's fallen to the ground. We'll hit reset, get our gun back. Cool. Ain't that neat? Now, obviously we have a bit of work to do figuring out lights. I've got one idea. We select the light. Scriptable needs to be on. There we go. That might work this time. Who knows? Now, why did it get so weird? Turn off the light with the... Yeah. Oh, I've got it selected. Oh. That's really high up in the air. Was I just blind? Oh, when I moved the light up, I moved the whole thing up. Duh. Okay. Alright. Yeah, this is what I did was I thought I was moving just the light, but I moved everything. There we go. Okay, good learnings, good learnings. Alright, let's make a target. I'll take the target from the store, and we'll make this, oh wait, yeah. Other thing with the target is it's kind of big. If we make it smaller, the animation breaks. That's unfortunately a problem. A lot of animated objects I've discovered, if you remember my very early streams, if you start messing with the scale of an animated object, it tends to break it. Which is unfortunate, so our target's really big. But that's okay. You know, we bought this. We didn't exactly customize it. So here we have the animation mode. We're going to set it to single play, and it's not going to begin on load. I'll make its playback speed 1.5, so it explodes a little bit quicker. And we are going to right-click the target, and we're going to go add script. And the script we're going to add a simple scripts library. And we are going to add game target, and it is going to be hit 2. Its point value will be 10. And now we will also add a sound and an animation script. So simple scripts library, simple sound, buzzer sound, whoops, play sound on hit 2. And like I said, we're putting resets so that when we click the reset button to reset the gun, we're also hopefully, you know, if the sounds are not stopping for some reason, it'll stop those as well. We just have a reset for the whole scene button. Cool. And then we need one more script. Here it is, scripts library. And we will make this simple animation to control the animation that lives inside this object, because it doesn't know what to do otherwise. Actually, I'm not going to do play. We're going to do play ranges, because if it plays, we kind of have a little bit less control over it. So the reset will be 0, 0. It'll take the object back to being a full target. And then range will be hit 2. And this range will be from frame 1 to frame 100. Now they have some information on the store webpage, a bit more about frames, but that worked before, so we're going to do it again. Oh, I think they said, let's go look at the store, guys. Let's find the target. Bring you guys over. You remember what I said before about it kind of taking a while to respond? Frames 0 to 10 are impact. 11 to 100 are breaking. So let's go back into Sansar. Boom. This should start at frame 11. And that way it'll start at the explosion instead of there being like 10 frames of it not exploding. Cool. Cool. And that one needs a physical volume. That's the last thing. I'm going to add volume. And we're going to scroll. Here's our volume type. It's a box. That's fine. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. Make it 3. We'll leave it at 4. And we'll make this 3 as well. There we go. So it's relatively center to the target. Cool. And we are going to build that. So we spent the first half of the stream explaining how this works, showing you some examples, calling out the Sokoban experience, and in 25 minutes we've made our own shooting gallery. Just using free stuff on the store and things that come default, except for the target. But the target's not necessary. You can make your own target from scratch if you're a little bit smarter than me. So if we shoot the beer bottle, there seems to be some... Oh! There we go. The light turned on. That's what we wanted. Now that light's a little bit bright, and it's also not turning off. That's a bit I haven't figured out. As I figured out how hitting a target should make the light turn on, but not turn off. There we go. Seems like there's still maybe a little bit of lag. I'm not sure if we get to figure that out, but it's good. And then if I click reset, that also resets the light. There we go. There we go. Isn't that cool? I mean, you could, instead of having lights on the object itself, you could have like a scoreboard of targets lighting up, turning on. But that's kind of the show, pretty much. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for coming with me on the journey of learning to build. It's been really fun over the course of this year to go from a new employee at Sansar to not really knowing what I was doing in build mode or how building works or what a script is or what even VR is. And now here I am building a shooting gallery using simple scripts in like 30 minutes. And I've got so many worlds I love and I really enjoy building. So this has been a lot of fun for me to share this with you guys. So thanks very much for watching. I will come in world now and answer your questions. And we will hope to see a whole slew of Sokoban levels and shooting galleries available in Sansar, because I did both those things in the past hour. So if you have an hour of your time, make a shooting gallery and make a Sokoban level and send them in to us. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Ta-ta for now.